Am I live? Oh, yes, I am. Good evening, everybody. Hi, Raouf here from Nova Sky International, Nova Sky Institute, Nova Sky Group, Nova Sky in general. Hope everyone is having a lovely start to your Monday, and I did too. In fact, today I actually repaid back my fast that I missed last year, one of the days. And I've actually fasted today, so it was not too bad. So I was awake since 5 until now. Was a bit wonky earlier this afternoon, and I'm however all charged, and we're just preparing for my live video today, tonight with all of you, to speak a bit about something that actually there was supposed to be a different topic tonight. To be frank, there was a totally different topic today, but I thought maybe I inject this a bit because I spoke to a couple of you, and who actually sounded to me that there's a little concern about investing in the US, about the US dollar, about this and that. Because although I've covered a bit of that in the previous few videos, so I'm just going to cover a bit more and expand on that topic tonight, okay, if you don't mind. So if you're here and you're watching this, all a million of you, okay, just drop me a comment. Tell me, hey, I'm here, from where are you from? And I'd like to see my Singaporean homies. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct before my friends in America make fun of me. Okay, so yeah, so I am. All right, so there's a few of you all coming in. All right, good to see that everyone is here. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Okay, now let me just say, Singapore had a bit of bad news over the past few days. Our staggering numbers of reported COVID-19 cases has just gone through the roof. 1,000 over cases today, right? How many thousand today? 1,004. Huh? 1,400. Wow. It's a lot, right? 1,004. My God, it's 1,004. That was like unimaginable last month. But now it's like going up by 4 digits. Well, I'm not going to say fortunately because it sounds very unethical of me to do so, but most of it is contained within the dormitories. And in fact, if you take that away, we kind of flattened the curve a little. But I don't want to touch on that because it sounds very insensitive. Because foreign workers who are here and left their homeland are part of the fabric of our society as well. They build our country, guys, not us. We didn't build that literally using our hands. No, it's not us. It's them. Okay, so they are a big part of this country, as much as some people might not like to consider that. Okay, but I feel they are, and we have, like I said in my previous video, we have a responsibility to ensure they are well taken care of. Okay, so I'm happy to see a lot of Singaporeans stepping up to the plate to ensure that their fellow foreign workers are well taken care of in Singapore. Okay, and yeah, so I'm just going to be touching on the topic of US dollar. So I wrote a particularly long piece this morning. So ran through with my team, and we mentioned about, okay, I told them I'm going to talk about it tonight instead. So when I wrote that piece, and it came to mind that after a lot of my own research and consultation and understanding on how the US economy works, US dollar works, how inflation works, how deflation works, hyperinflation, stagflation, all of it thrown into the mix, how it actually is not one simplistic theory that everybody can just conjure or pull out of the textbook and just apply it across the board. Okay, this is a big mistake that a lot of people do. A lot of people feel that inflation or the act of printing money works the same across all countries. It doesn't. Okay, and thus my written opinion on the concept of the US dollar. So some of them, even for a few years, people were saying the US is printing money like crazy. US dollar is going to be worthless. Well, I heard that sentiment a few years ago from our neighbor up north. Okay, and they were mentioning about how the US dollar is going to be worthless and how the currency is going to go up in strength. Well, that hasn't exactly happened because they lack the understanding and the concept of how currency works. Okay, I'm not saying I have all the knowledge. I don't. In fact, I am still learning a lot till today. I'm still trying to get myself to understand how currencies work, how inflation works, how they are interconnected yet different at the same time. And tonight, I just want to present to you what I understand. And in all fairness, I stand corrected. If there's any of you who's a lot more knowledgeable than I am, can give me can produce a much better theory or theory or analysis of what I'm presenting today. Okay, so let's just get on to it. Let me present this. Okay, so here you go. Hello. Okay, there you are. All right, so inflation, deflation, how it affects you. And that's the topic for today. So before I continue, please, those of you who have not yet joined our group, join our group tonight. This is the link, bit.ly/noblesky thrive, capital THRIVE. Okay, that's our link. Please join our link, join our group. I hope to see you there. We're going to be sharing a lot more group-only information. And you will see the ticker tape at the bottom of this particular screen, and you will say it gives you the address, the URL to our particular group. So please join our group if you haven't already done so. All right. Before I proceed into our topic for tonight, in the news today is oil. Other than the Singapore crisis going out of control, so-called COVID-19 cases just reported up, right? So the other news is oil. Okay, and this is the oil news that I saw, that I read, and how it will affect and be related to our topic for tonight. Okay, oil has gone down dramatically by more than 36%. Okay, I don't trade oil. I have no idea how oil is traded, but I do know one fundamental thing about oil. Okay, oil price is one of the prices that affect a big part of the economy. Okay, oil prices. Too low, okay, too low in oil price, oil fields will close. Oil fields close, big companies close, hundreds and thousands of jobs will be lost. That's one. Too high a price for oil, it will affect other prices of other commodities, because everything kind of requires oil, right? Everything dependent on oil. If you want to buy soya bean, if you want to go to the shop, you want to take Grab or whatever, the Grab requires oil. Okay, petrol to drive there. Okay, and the products that was delivered to the supermarket, they were delivered using by these vehicles that uses oil. So it is related in some sense. So the higher the oil prices go, okay, the more expensive our products become. The lower it gets, not necessarily does it mean good for our consumption, our price, because you will end up having thousands and thousands of jobs being lost all across the world. So there must be an equivalent level that is just nice, just right for the Goldilocks level. Okay, just right, just nice for everyone across all industry. You cannot be too high, it cannot be too low either. Okay, so oil unfortunately has dropped a lot. So expect a swath, a chunk, a big increase in, especially in America, in unemployment claims. Now, a bit about unemployment claims that I want to expand a bit later on, okay? And how some people see unemployment in the US. You go, oh my God, the US is going to hell. Oh my God, America is going into a civil war. I spoke to someone 2 days ago. He said, I think there's going to be a civil war. Are you serious? It's actually my senior. Okay, I'm not going to mention names. Okay, yeah, he's actually I worked with him before. So civil war can be civil war. No, it won't not so dramatic lah. Okay, no, it won't be so dramatic, but it will drop into civil war and all that. It will not happen like that. Okay, but I'm going to expand about an unemployment thing in a short while later. So oil has gone up, has gone down. Okay, and expect unemployment to go up even more dramatically. Okay, so this is the news on oil. Then, from previous video, this is where I want to touch a bit more. I've mentioned about the unemployment, which is what I'm going to talk about now. It's increased to 22 million people, and going to be increased. Some people estimate about 60 million unemployment in America. That's a whole lot of people. 60 million. Okay. Now, then at the same time, the government stimulus measure that has given loans to American companies. Okay, ran out of money, right? Okay. Now, there's something you have to understand here. Why are there so many unemployment claims in America? Why are so many Americans going out of job? And why are employers intentionally laying off their workers? Why? You have to understand the rationale behind. The moral compass might be a bit off. Okay, the morality of a company taking loans. Okay, this is what a lot of company does. They take loan, which is called the Paycheck Protection Program. Okay, for the loan to be forgiven, the loan has to be used to be considered a grant. The loan has to be used for the purpose of paying paycheck, paying mortgage interest rate, paying rentals. Okay, things that are considered essential to the company, right? So if it's not forgiven, the rate of the loan is 1% a year. If you are the employer, okay, if you're the employer, right, okay, I will take that loan and pay the 1%. While I realize, listen, this is the key part, the kicker. If I were to be paying my employee 2,000 a month, 3,000 a month, but if I lay him off, he stands to gain about more than $1,000 a week, which comes to $4,000 a month. What do you think most employees will do? They take the loan, they lay off the workers, which is what has happened. Okay, so that's why there was a big spiral of unemployment across the US, whereby some employees feel it's their duty to lay off the workers so that their workers can claim unemployment benefit from the state and federal government, which is very, very generous at this point in time. That's why, but whether the unemployment system has backlog, whether the state system to file a claim for the person cannot take the massive number of enrollment, okay, that's besides the point. But the main basis here, the main understanding for everybody to know why the unemployment rate has gone through the roof is because intentionally government employers are laying off their workers so that their worker can gain more from the unemployment program. Okay, this is where Singapore has managed to do it kind of well by ensuring not to give too generous an unemployment benefit, because our unemployment benefit is, if you're a Singaporean, you only get $800 a month for 3 months. This unemployment benefit of up to 4,000 USD a month can be is until the end of the year. If I am working for my employer and getting only 2,000, and if I tell him, please fire me for COVID-19 so that I can get 4,000, I will beg him to fire me. Okay, all right. I will literally go on my knees and say, please fire me. I don't want to work for you anymore. I want to get more. I don't have to work. I get money. What do you think? It's a no-brainer, right? Okay, so it's a bit off balance, all right. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's why the unemployment rate has gone through the roof. 22 million. Expect up to 60 million people, okay, to be unemployed, to claim unemployment benefits in America. A lot more is going to be reported over the next few weeks. So read through the news, but if you read the news, try to dissect and understand further what that news means. Okay, so I'm going to show you a bit about what I am saying here. So there you go. This is the unemployment benefits. All right, if you read this, it's on CNBC. Everybody can go here. So as I said, the unemployment rate has gone through the roof. Now this is where you're going to see. Okay, before COVID-19, the average amount across the US, different states have different amounts. So understand, different states have different amount. Whoa, oil futures has dive more than 30% to under $12. Okay, let's not talk about that. Okay, but this is the breaking news. But let's go back to unemployment. Before that, if you see here, it's 378 a week average across the states. Okay, before COVID. Now with COVID-19, okay, it has gone up so much that the minimum amount, where are you? Okay, there you go. The highest benefit is in Massachusetts at $1,155 per week, guys. $1,155 per week until the end of the year. That's more than $4,000 a month. Now I feel like becoming one of them and just become unemployed, right? Okay, because the federal government add on top of what the state gave you, the federal government added an additional $600 to the entire unemployment paycheck, right? When they add more money to it, people want to be unemployed. I don't want to be working, all right? I want to be unemployed and get free money. Who doesn't want that? Anybody want that? I want. You all want?
I want.
No, you better cannot, okay? All right. So yeah, I want that, right? So that's the reality here, because the stimulus budget is too generous, I don't know. And in fact, if you read further, they are actually discussing to increase per person, even though you're employed or unemployed, they want to give $2,000 per person, all right, per month for 6 months. That's crazy, okay? $2,000 per month for 6 months. I don't know until when, okay? That's the next one. And this is the last part because it's tying in to US election year. This is an election year in America. Trump is going to go all guns a-blazing to ensure that he retains power, okay? Whether he's a good president or not, there's none of our business to comment, especially if you're not American. Please, okay? This is not our business. Let them handle their own business. I just want to learn how to make money in America while I stay here, okay? Produce value in both countries. That's my intention, okay, guys? So this is the maximum duration, 13 weeks, 39 weeks, guys. Oh my God, sorry, not until the end of the month, 10 months. It's until next year, February, if I'm not mistaken, okay, or January. So 10 months, 39 weeks. That's the unemployment benefit you can get. People are going to be staying at home, not working, okay, which is another problem in itself later on, and getting free money, okay. But of course, if I'm not mistaken, the moment they get a job, okay, the unemployment might stop. All right, and one of the criteria is that they have to actively search for a job. They have to prove it. Okay. Next thing is the Paycheck Protection Program. Okay, from the Treasury. This is from the Treasury website. Okay, so the Treasury website says that you have to use for your loan to be forgiven. The money must be used for payroll costs, mortgage interest, rent, and utility costs over 8-week period. That's the amount that has to the money to be forgiven. For you to take money, the loan from the bank, from the government, okay, because the bank will administer the loan, right? For you to take this money from the government, okay, the company needs to use it mainly for payroll costs, mortgage interest, and all this, okay? If they don't use it for payroll costs, use for mortgage interest, and if they don't use for any of that, the interest is only 1%. Okay, 1% fixed rate. It's crazy, right? So people literally take the money. It's like free money. So that's why Robert Kiyosaki said, if you're an employee, can I use the F word? No, okay, sorry. Got screwed. All right. But if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an investor, that's where you will learn in a crisis like this, you make money. Okay, and this is one of the example on why he is so damn right. Okay, all right. So this is the thing. You don't have to personal guarantee. You can read this, guys. You can read how interesting and how easy it is for you to get a loan. Although right now this particular program has ran out of money, the government is talking about increasing the more money and giving it and pumping into the system. Okay, so now of course, if you are a non-American business, you might not be able to enjoy this program. Okay, but if you're an American business, there is potential that you can enjoy this program. Okay, all right, and all the other generous benefit if you know how. Okay, if you want to know how, you gotta reach out to us, obviously. Okay, never mind. So, any question, anyone? Anybody got any other question to us? No question? Okay, sure? Or is it too fast? If you got a question, please go ahead and ask me. All right, so that's my point on unemployment. So that's why you will see such high unemployment rate in America. If it's in the US, example, our government, in Singapore, our government said, hey, you get $2,000 Sing, $2,500 Sing a week or a month. I am sure a lot more Singaporeans will be laid off intentionally so that they can claim money from the government. Okay, entrepreneurs are very enterprising, right? And they're very crafty to in whatever way necessary to hold on to whatever money they have and to pass the buck of maintaining the employee to somebody else. To them, is a morally right thing to do, to lay off their workers so that the worker can get more money. Okay, and that's what has happened in America. Okay, all right. So this is the previous rate. All right. So today, let's get on to our main topic: inflation, deflation. Okay, inflation, deflation. It is technically what is facing every country at every point in the year, every point in the month. Okay, inflation simply means, all right, okay, price of goods and services increases. Okay, it increases because you expect the price to go up in the future. So you want to buy now, right? You want to buy it now because you anticipate the price to go up. So that's why there's an inflationary event in the country. Okay, deflation simply means, all right, you expect the price to go down in the future, so you hold on to your money. When you hold on to the money means you are more stingy. You don't spend. When you don't spend, the price of the goods and services will drop. And when that drop, okay, it will cause businesses to go go out of business, become bankrupt, asset prices to drop. Now, this is something to take note. Okay, and why inflation is such a difficult topic sometimes to discuss. It's easy to see data online, inflation event, okay, but a lot of times you will notice asset prices like houses, or even big ticket item like houses, cars, they may drop in price, but the price of basic necessities still increases. Okay, that is still an inflationary event, although the price of the house may drop, right? Okay, so this is something for you to take note of. So we are going to discuss a bit about the correlation between the US dollar, okay, and inflation event in our country, and so on, to discuss a bit about the topic I mentioned earlier. Okay, the thing for you to understand, if you are an investor, if you're an investor, if you learn about investment, okay, if you know about investment, every investor must learn to embrace inflation. Every investor, you have to embrace inflation. Why? Let me put it simply the case, all right? If I want my property price to go up in value, okay, in 10 years' time, okay, it is only possible in an inflationary event where prices are going up. And I don't want my property price to drop in value. Okay, especially if you have a bank loan, all right? Example, if you have a house, you bought a house with a bank loan, okay, for a bank loan for 25 years or 30 years, whatever the term, okay, your property price will likely increase in value because of inflation, but your mortgage will lose value. It's the only thing whereby you realize something is doing good for me by taking the stupid loan. Okay, I take the loan, my loan, right, will decrease in value. It will lose value in 30 years. Am I right? Okay, so by the end of 30 years, your loan doesn't just increase unless of course you pay late, okay, but the loan amount will drop. The value will drop because, okay, the amount that you pay now, okay, in the future is going to worth less, it's going to be worth a lot less. All right? So that's something for you to understand. If you're an investor, you have to embrace inflation. Okay? If you're an investor, you will fear deflation. You don't want your asset price to drop in value. All right, guys? So that's one thing for you to understand. Okay? So why the USD will still remain relevant and not be worthless? I've mentioned a lot of it in my post earlier. If you have not seen, okay, you can read my post that I posted earlier in this afternoon. Okay, I'm simply saying this. When people just say off, saying that US dollar, people, how are they going to fund all this money, giving people money? Okay, now that will not exactly happen into inflation. I will mention in the last slide, it's a stagflation event. Okay, which I don't want to make be too complex, over complex in this live video, but I'll explain that afterwards. But for anyone to just shout out saying that the US dollar will be worthless, whatever, I don't think that will happen anytime in our lifetime. I spoke to a very, very prominent banker earlier this afternoon. I don't know if he's watching, okay? And I'm glad he's in full agreement. Okay, saying that, hey, there's a lot of chatter around the world. China and Russia were talking about wanting to move away from the US dollar and all that. Okay, now that might happen, but might not happen because it also involves a few hundred countries to accept their money to be the currency of reference. Okay, USD is the world's reserve currency. When it's the world's reserve currency, okay, it always means that in anything like oil price, soybean, corn, whatever, is going to be exchanged and be paid for in US dollar. So the US dollar will always be in constant demand. Okay, example, I am from Singapore. Okay, I found this to be a problem. I'm from Singapore. I go to a country all the way in Jordan. I went to Jordan before, right? Jordan, if I were to give them Singapore dollars, they will look at me and my rate of exchange is very bad. It is so bad that I should not change my money in Jordan. Why? Because there's not many other money changers around Jordan that's going to accept Singapore dollars. Do you follow? Okay, all right. But if I were to bring US dollar to Jordan, they will be more than happy to accept it and exchange at a near to spot rate. Do you see the logic? If I'm in Singapore right now here, okay, someone from Malaysia give me ringgit. I want to exchange this ringgit because I know ringgit is a lot more exchangeable in Singapore now. But if I have someone from, I don't know, Ecuador, South America with their own currency, right? bring me and give me Ecuador currency, like, if I buy Ecuador currency from you now, what can I do with Ecuador currency tomorrow? So I'm not going to pay spot rate. I'm going to pay with a big premium, okay, for your Ecuador, whatever currency is called. Do you understand? All right. So that's why US dollar is always the currency of reference. Okay. This is important to understand. So it is always important to understand that when you exchange foreign currency with the bank, if you use a Singapore dollar debit card or credit card to go to Malaysia even, you go and swipe your for the product, right? Okay. Do you know that the bank will change the ringgit to USD and the USD to Singapore? So you're paying exchange rate twice. Were you aware of that? So this is something for you to know. Okay. If you spend any money out of your USD, you're going to be paying the exchange rate twice. So that's why I'm thankful I have a US dollar debit card and credit card. Okay, because it helps me to ensure that I only pay the exchange rate once and I save a bit more money. Okay, this is something for you to know. So when you try to claim the US dollar is going to drop, yes, I believe it might drop intentionally because the government wants the US dollar to drop because they don't want the products to be too expensive around the world. They don't want, the US government do not want, okay? But at the same time, you have to understand, okay? When the currency drop, other currencies will rise, okay? And other currency rise, you have countries like China who's going to say, no way, Jose, I want my US dollar to be too cheap. I want my Chinese currency to be cheaper. Why? Because the Chinese is still a developing country. They want to sell more products to the US at a lower rate, okay? And especially so in a few months when COVID-19 is over and the US is going to start thinking about nationalizing more production, not to rely too much on Japan or China especially. They want more things to be produced within America. They're going to force even more the currency to drop further so that it will force the Americans to still resort to rely on Chinese produced goods, because Chinese produced goods is a lot cheaper. Okay, so this is something for all of us to understand. And at the same time, America produces a lot of value for the world, guys. They produce a lot of value. I'm using my iMac. American product, although made in China, right? American product. Android, Google, the US, Tesla, US. Okay, maybe Tesla not such a good example. Okay, but what a Boeing? Weapons. They sell all weapons all across the world. We buy fighter jets from where? America, right? Okay, all these thing that destroys the world. So I'm sorry if my American friends are online, I apologize. But yeah, you are selling things around the world that kind of like kill people. Okay, but other than that, there's a lot of other values that is being produced. McDonald's, which Singapore recently closed, right? Okay, McDonald's, America. KFC, America. Pizza Hut, America. What else? Wingstop, America. What else? A lot, right? So many companies in America. And if you want to invest in stock market, where do you go? New York, right? New York is mainly, most of them are US companies. They are global, okay? So this is where I'm saying, as long as we rely and we want to consume American products, okay? Yeah, the greenback, correct. So as long as we want to consume American products, we will, the currency will always be in demand. For the currency to drop, it will depend on governments, okay, manipulating the currency to big effect, okay? But at some point, they will accept the level that's acceptable to both sides. Okay, trade protectionism, yeah, correct, which is Mr. Philip Teo, which is what I explained just now, right? So they want to protect their products to be only maybe consumed only within domestically. They want the products to be produced domestically. They want it to be more nationalized, okay, and to ensure that they don't have to overly rely on overseas countries for their own national security. There's a lot of word thrown around in the US, in fact, okay. National security and all that. So that's my main point on why I don't feel the US dollar, okay. Oh, duration of gold. I can, all right. If you want me to explain duration of gold, I don't have much expertise, okay, in terms of gold because I'm only learning to buy them recently, okay. But when it comes to gold is where we discover that everybody will accept. Okay, I explained gold in my previous video, but gold is where it's like insurance. Okay, people buy gold to hedge against inflation, right? Okay, they want the value of their money, okay, to be protected. They bought gold, which I'm sure Mr. Philip, you agree. So when the price of gold increase, usually in a recession, depression event, okay, money rush to safe havens like gold, all right? And when gold goes up in value, okay, it means that the currency probably drops, so the gold is more valuable. Okay, the only thing that I am concerned about gold is a hedge, in my opinion, but gold does not produce for me income. It's an insurance. Okay, and I like to buy and invest in things that give me income. Okay, income is something that allows me to earn money while I sleep. You follow? All right. But it is also important that you invest a bit into gold. Okay. Importance of gold in the international global scene. Well, I guess so. If you have some opinion, please drop. I don't have much of an opinion about gold. I'll be very frank, because I don't buy gold. I don't invest in gold. Okay. But I do know gold is not important. I didn't say it's not important. Okay. But I do know gold is super important. All right. It is a hedge against inflation. And the only thing for me is that gold doesn't produce for me income. That's my main issue with gold. That's for me. All right. Okay. Gold is important. All right. And in fact, as a Muslim, okay, we are encouraged to invest in gold. Okay, and it's something that I want to do. All right. As a Muslim myself. Okay. So just to talk about hyperinflation event. This is Zimbabwe. Okay, this is Zimbabwe when it went parabolic, where the Zimbabwean dollar became worthless, and you have the $100 trillion dollar note, $100 trillion note. You can be a trillionaire in Zimbabwe. It's crazy. As little as $10 to $100 trillion. Okay, so when you have the kind of hyperinflationary event, literally what causes a hyperinflation event? It means that the confidence in the government has totally dropped. Nobody trusts the government anymore. Secondly, okay, it means that the government just the only way they think they can fund their country, they can keep running the country, is by printing more money to pay for whatever is happening right now. So that caused a hyperinflationary event. Okay, that was something that happened in Venezuela, in Zimbabwe, and to extent Venezuela as well. Okay, so when that happens, all right, the government literally collapsed. Will that ever happen in America? Some people say it might. Okay, but I don't believe it to be the case, because the US as a country, as a republic, right, it is a country that has the president only stays for a while, for 2 terms maximum. The US has other talented people to take over the president. Okay, other checks and balance necessary to ensure the government don't collapse, and is right now the world's sole superpower. Hey, hello, Hanif. Okay, is the world's sole superpower. All right, so it has a military size that's uncomparable. So for it to just collapse like that with all the military and the nuclear weapons all running around, I don't think that will happen anytime soon. They have other checks and balance to ensure succession and continuity in the government. Okay, if anything happens, all right. So I don't ever feel that the US government will collapse anytime. So that's why you see a lot of notes and all that. It says backed by the full faith of the US government, technically lah. Okay, so that's one. All right. And the last point I want to mention is this. Okay, is stagflation, which some of you might be familiar. This is a bit unique. Stagflation, some said, okay, I stand corrected, some said it was the last time stagflation happened was in the 1970s during the oil crisis, okay, where it was a bit unique, all right? It became unique because GDP, the country's output dropped, okay, earnings dropped, but for some reason, okay, unemployment went up. At the same time, inflation went up. Usually, it will drop when it's in the deflationary event, but inflation, the price of things still go up while unemployment goes up and GDP goes down. So it became a unique event, and we are seeing the same thing happening right now with COVID-19. Unemployment is going up, okay? The interest rate is low, okay? And we are expecting inflation to go up because the government has printed and given so much money to their people, okay? They printed all this funny money, right? Okay? And they're giving all these people money. All right. So in fact, some people are saying, hey, I think, my opinion is this. People say, I think real estate prices in America is going to drop. It's going to drop like crazy. Okay. Actually, it can go both ways. In my opinion, it can go both ways. But I am of the opinion that it will drop first before it bounce back very, very fast. The reason being, herd mentality. People just want to follow whatever happening. At the same time, because the government, you have the ACE cut. If in the US is this thing, the Federal Reserve. Okay, the Federal Reserve will want to ensure money, okay, is being pumped to the system. Money is being pumped to the banks, and this will force people to buy things, to take up loans, to buy stuff. At the same time, for the Federal Reserve to ensure the people or the bank don't lose money, the Federal Reserve, there's been talks about this. Some of it has already happened. The Federal Reserve is buying all the assets. Is buying all the assets, all the real estate, all the stocks possible, all the bonds, all the overseas bonds that people are holding. They're exchanging for US dollar. They print this money, they exchange it, okay, and they keep it within their balance sheet. That is what is happening in America. The Federal Reserve do not have a profit and loss. It's one thing to understand. Okay, they don't have a profit and loss. Whether they print a lot of money or not is irrelevant. That's their opinion. Okay, that's what they call it, Keynesians or whatever. I'm not so sure how to pronounce that. So they just print money, right? Then they buy all of this to prevent the person on the street not to lose money in their asset. The Federal Reserve will buy it from them. All right, and when that happens, when you have the big Papa Bear, right, buy all the things happening around the US, the government will be the main owner of all the assets, right? Okay, it will cause an inflationary event. And that's the thing that I feel might happen, okay? Although I do anticipate prices of property to drop a little, okay? Not a little, dramatically, at least by about 20, 30%, some say about 40%, it will drop, okay? The thing about us, when we buy properties in the US, guys, this is how we're different. When I buy properties for my clients, for the purpose of either to sell off or to hold for cash flow, the main intent is to always buy them with severely undervalued. Okay, so if the property price is 100% here, okay, here, and I buy them here, if the property price drop, I'm still cushioned. There's still some cushion. Do you follow? I will be cushioned. When I'm cushioned, it doesn't really matter for me whether it goes up or down. Okay, and previously when we buy properties, especially now, a lot of my clients are asking, hey, are we in trouble? Are we in trouble? I say, hey, relax. Nobody's going to come foreclose on you. We have no loans. When we buy properties, guys, I don't use any form of bank loans. Okay? And I buy this 100% value. I pay, example, 40% or 50%, you want to call it. Okay, on average, we pay actually 20. That's on our average, but I just want to be realistic to all of you now. Let's pay 50% of the value. 50%, all right, of the value. This 50%, how do I pay for it? I leverage the 50% purchase with as many investors as possible. All right, some people call it crowdfunding. Actually, it's not. And we leverage on this. All right, I am leveraging on the leverage. So that's the main idea for us. That's the main thing that we like to do, is that we always buy properties cheap. And in the future, shelter and real estate are two different things. Okay, people want shelter, not real estate. Real estate price, all the luxury high-end apartments, they will experience a major shift in price downwards. This is what I know. I can see the data is happening. All right. But shelter for people who lost their jobs, for people who cannot qualify for loans, they just need a regular house. Some people say, I want apartment buildings. A lot of people are already reading. The Americans are moving away from high density living. They want their own place. Okay. So there is a likelihood that properties, simple properties that is not so expensive, that is lesser than 250,000, maybe around 150K or lesser, all right, will be much more in demand, all right, because people don't want to pay too much for the property and they want to make sure that the property price is cheaper. Okay, so this is something, this is a shift, is what's happening, all right, expected to happen over the rest of the year. And well, at the end of the day, I might be wrong and I stand corrected. Okay, if anything happens, all right, this is a unique event, a black swan, they call it. COVID-19 is like a black swan event. Nobody has prior past data to rely on to determine what's happening now. Okay, but seeing what is happening, what the government is doing, a lot of money is being pumped to the people. Okay, there will be an inflation event and property price might just go back up. All right, because the Federal Reserve, the ACE cut, might just buy everything off. Okay, so if you want to ensure you capitalize on the fact that you don't want to lose, make sure the ship doesn't sail off, right? When you don't want the ship to sail away and you still want to capitalize, right, on that event, we should buy properties soon, okay? while awaiting more people to buy from us and the Federal Reserve to buy our property if possible. That's right, I agree. Okay, real estate will change. Whoever is Philip here, I can't see the face. Right? So there is a shift whereby people will use online. Actually, COVID-19 has expedited. It's like a catalyst to allow more online viewing. I just watched a video which my colleague Fraser shared earlier. People are moving more online. Okay, they actually initially there was a resistance to online viewing. But COVID-19 forced them to stay indoors. There's nothing else to do. They're viewing properties online. More so right now when they're at home, they're viewing properties online. And I've already figured out the way for us to close and buy the property online. We've already been doing that. Okay, but a lot of people, when they want to buy something that is emotionally attached, like a house for at least the next 5 years or so, okay, they want to walk the ground, they want to feel it. But COVID-19 has caused them to stay indoors more, and thereby making the decision to buy this property online. There are technologies, virtual reality technologies, that allow them to buy these properties online. Okay, so yeah. So Fraser, if you don't mind, drop that link that you shared with us earlier. Okay, here, so that at least some people can see. Right. So that's what I have. Right. So this is what's likely ahead: a stagflation situation in America, especially. Government will do what it can to prop up the economy. Federal Reserve will buy everything. More so right now in an election year, Trump will do whatever he can to go all guns a-blazing, use all kind of bazooka to throw to the people to make sure he gets re-elected. And there's a $2,000 check in the works for every single American for at least 6 months. That is crazy. Okay, this money must come from somewhere. All right, guys, money must come from somewhere. So when it comes from the Federal Reserve to print money, okay, the US dollar might be devalued, but don't expect the US dollar to become worthless anytime soon. Okay, all right. So that's what I have. Yep. So that's about what I have for this evening. Okay. So what else? That if you have any other questions, you can drop your questions here. Okay, I'll be more than happy to answer you afterwards. Right. But as of now, that's all I have for tonight. Today I have gone a bit by 12 minutes. Okay. And so we've gone a bit over time. Usually I try to put within 30 minutes, but today I've spoken a bit more. And I hope you found some value in the presentation. I hope to be able to speak and engage with you a lot more down the road. And in any case, I wish you all a good night and stay safe, stay indoors, don't go anywhere. Don't go to the dorms. Somehow it's not a safer place to go. And I hope to see more of you in our next few online videos soon. Okay, correct. Will not be. I was Mr. Philip. I was actually speaking to some people who feel that US dollar will be worthless because their perception was that they are printing so much money, one day it will be worthless, but actually it's not. Okay, all right. I agree. Singapore dollar is pegged. In a way, yeah, we have a different way of pegging the currency, right? Basket of currencies, not that, but this is for a different topic for a different video. Okay. Other than that, I want to say and thank you everyone and all those who participated and watched this throughout. Thank you so much, and I wish you a very good night and God bless and stay safe. Bye bye.